Now, on the climate issue, a lot of moving parts at the moment, isn't there, in terms of just getting the deal for Scott Morrison and then where to from there? I mean, how many of the Nats do they bring with them with any deal?
Yeah, he seems awfully relaxed for a bloke who's trying to grapple with a problem that how many prime ministers now haven't been able to get through? About 4.
Exactly.
And yet he and his team seem like pretty confident they can do this. I think they probably had an assurance from Barnaby Joyce, but Barnaby Joyce isn't getting the same assurance from some of his closest allies in the National Party. So let's hear the PM talk about basically he's going to do something for the regions in order to get a medium-term target and a net zero target for either him or Angus Taylor to take to the Conference of Parties 26 in Glasgow.
I believe Australia can do this and ensure that the regions excel, that the regions actually exceed their current prospects.
Well, Keith Pitt's the Resources Minister. He was dropped from Cabinet after Barnaby Joyce got the top job in the Nationals from Michael McCormack. He doesn't want much for a net zero promise, only $250 billion in a loan facility for miners. You reckon that's going to happen? I certainly don't. A bit of a strange one, and Kieran confronted him here earlier in the program saying, you're a minister. Normally, I see backbenchers with these sort of proposals. Ministers normally talk about government policy. What are you doing here?
You're not a backbencher like George Christensen or Matt Canavan. You're the Resources Minister. Presumably, when ministers speak on issues like this, it's generally policy. Is this government policy?
Kieran, no, it is not. However, what it is, as Australia's Resources Minister, well, I strongly support our sector, and I'm looking to do things which will ensure the sector remains strong into the future. Secondly, we don't have a fixed position on this. This is a discussion. Thirdly, George Christensen and the Trade and Investment Committee have been doing a review for some months on the impact of the withdrawal of insurance and finance into our export markets and export companies and export facilities, and we don't want to export those jobs.
That's Keith Pitt talking to us from Gladstone Port. Andrew, a couple of things. You touched on one of the anomalies with this, that a minister in his own portfolio area, putting a thought bubble up is unusual. The other thing is, which I've found hard to grapple with, is the notion that you have a loan facility, taxpayer dollars basically providing a loan facility, insurance as well as what he's suggesting, for companies largely owned by foreign entities.
Oh, look, the climate wars, you see all sorts of proposals people would call crazy. This is up there, but I mean, look at the fact the government's about to build a gas plant in the Hunter where they want to win seats. I think there's a lot of debate about the necessity for that. People will jump on me over that and say you need it for the Tomago aluminium smelter. That may be the case or it may not. But it's a controversial intervention by government. I've lived through this debate. It really is like the Yes Minister skit where they're fervently for renationalising, denationalising. Everything had to be privatised. Now it has to have government intervention. Goodness me, but we'll get through the next couple of weeks and we'll have new targets, no doubt. And I think they'll be easy to reach, at least in the medium term, because Australia's done so well on its emissions reduction in recent times.